Have you lost your job? Have you lost a loved one? Are you exhausted caring for your parents, for your kids? Well, you can find immediate relief when you read Sheila Mack's new #1 bestseller, Bootstraps and Bra Straps. It contains the Boots formula to move from rock bottom back into action in any situation, especially right now. If life has knocked you down, pick yourself up with Bootstraps and Bra Straps. Get your copy at www.SheilaMack.com today.
Are you ready for a reboot? Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. History reminds us those hit hardest often become the change makers. This year, we've all hit crazy economic, social, and emotional rock bottoms. We all get knocked down. Something hits globally, locally, personally. It affects our health, finances, our relationships. We have to recreate a business or career. Each show, Sheila and her special guest will be sharing their reboot stories, guiding you with real solutions to upgrade and up-level emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Here on NBC's KCAA Radio, Mondays at 1 and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. If you're ready to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and bra straps, enjoy a listen. Here's Sheila.
If you are just tuning in, this is the Sheila Mack Show, and I am your host, Sheila Mack, here on NBC's KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. Today, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this show, Unidragon. Unidragon offers various types of wooden jigsaw puzzles that you can play with and learn with during your leisure time. Their wooden, unique puzzles are made out of the highest quality woods and come to you with a beautiful artwork design. Use the gift of time and peaceful play with Unidragon wooden puzzles to improve your memory, problem-solving skills, visual spatial ability, mood, and to lower your stress levels. With Unidragon wooden jigsaw puzzles at any age, they have been shown to help promote eye and hand coordination and increase your creativity. So next time you are stuck or working on a project and need a mind break, take a Unidragon break and work on a puzzle. Unidragon is one of the best puzzle games on the market, helping bring play and happiness back to the world, one puzzle piece at a time. If you are just tuning in, this is the Sheila Mack Show, and I am your host, Sheila Mack. I'd like to give a special shout out and thanks to one of the show's sponsors today, which is Unidragon. Unidragon wooden jigsaw puzzles. Unidragon offers various types of wooden jigsaw puzzles that you can play with and learn with during your leisure time. Their wooden, unique puzzles are made out of the highest quality woods and come to you with a beautiful artwork design. Use the gift of time and peaceful play with Unidragon wooden puzzles to improve your memory, problem-solving skills, visual spatial ability, mood, and to lower your stress level. With Unidragon wooden jigsaw puzzles at any age, they have been shown to help promote eye-hand coordination and increase creativity. So next time you are stuck on a project, take out a Unidragon wooden jigsaw puzzle. Unidragon is one of the best puzzle games on the market, helping bring play and happiness back to the world, one puzzle piece at a time. If you are just tuning in, this is the Sheila Mack Show, and I am your host, Sheila Mack. This show is brought to you today in part by Unidragon. Unidragon offers various types of wooden jigsaw puzzles that you can play with and learn with during your leisure time. Their wooden, unique puzzles are made out of the highest quality woods and come to you with a beautiful variety of artwork designs. Use the gift of time and peaceful play with Unidragon wooden puzzles to improve your memory, problem-solving skills, visual, spatial ability, mood, and to lower your stress levels. With Unidragon wooden jigsaw puzzles at any age, they have been shown to help with neuroplasticity while promoting eye and hand coordination and increasing creativity. So the next time you are stuck trying to figure out something puzzling in your business or personal life, take a puzzle break. Unidragon's one of the best puzzle games on the market, helping people bring play and happiness back to the world, one puzzle piece at a time. Order your Unidragon wooden jigsaw puzzles today at www.unidragon.com. Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and today we have special guest Mike Zeller. Mike Zeller builds companies. Mike helps high achievers align their purpose with both the business they want to build and the life they want to live while they get unstuck and shake off limiting beliefs. Mike's businesses have done hundreds of millions in sales, but he has also lost over 1 million in bad business breaks, poor decisions, and investments that just didn't turn out the way he expected. In 1 year, 3 of his businesses lost more than 100,000 each. Yes, I know that club. He was frustrated, confused, and exhausted, and he had to make a change. So he spent over 20,000 hours studying with masters of the game like Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Ryan Dice, and others. His business has done millions in sales. He's funded 12 plus companies and been involved in investor-backed startups that raised over $5 million. And he's partnered in over 10 ventures, mentored 100 plus entrepreneurs in 6 different countries. Now Mike teaches the solutions that he's learned in his darkest days, the solutions that have changed his life forever. So if you're ready to get unstuck, let's listen to what Mike has to share with us today. All right, welcome to the show, Mike.
Sheila, excited to be here. Always a joy to connect with you, and I can't wait to dive in. It's going to be fun.
All right. Now, this show is based on my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. And this last 12 months, we have had just about every situation hit us globally. And so I like to start off the show by asking, what in your life did you have to overcome, either in your business or personal life? What tough situation did you overcome, and what steps did you take?
You know, great question, Sheila. A couple situations. I've been in difficult situations more than once, as most of us have, right? When we met through Tony Robbins' Platinum Partner, I had just, when I joined, and that was 2013, I'd gone through a bad breakup, and to the point, we were legally married and engaged. And then I came into the Tony Robbins program initially kind of heartbroken, and my businesses were in the gutter. At least up until a few months before I entered into joined my first UPW. And then I just kind of ended up having my best year yet, even though the first 4 months of the year I didn't make any money at all in my businesses. I actually lost money. And then by the end of the year, I joined Platinum Partner. And, during those seasons, it's kind of the inspiration for my first book that will come out later this year, called Twice Born: How a Crisis Can Remake You. And you know it well in the sense of, you go through those seasons of trials, and they are a gift. And if you allow them to fuel your transformation. So that's the first season. I've got the other season where I lost $1 million in basically a 2.5 year period, with just bad business mistakes and some things not going my way, but certainly plenty of bad business mistakes in that season. So
yes, so many learnings. We get to have learnings, and I don't know anyone that's really successful that hasn't had a few learnings. And I think the thing is that if you took everything away from either of us today, we'd be like, I got this.
Yeah.
And so we kind of, once you learn how to get back on track, it doesn't matter what the situation is. You have the steps and the process in place. You can just create a new business and get back on your feet quickly.
Yeah.
So back faster than ever. Yes. So winter is our season.
That's right. That's right. We know it well from our tonic days.
Yes, yes. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you're doing now, as far as with coaching people and helping people that are stuck to get unstuck, because this is such a time. There's a lot of people that are struggling, and I'd love to hear the steps and process for how you work with people.
Yeah, I basically have two main lanes that I swim in now, and I separated them because earlier I wasn't quite niche specific, and sometimes you can get too niche specific, but I was not nearly enough in my coaching and masterminds. I was trying to coach like people building real estate businesses alongside people building fitness, Instagram businesses, and it just was not cohesive. So now I have an e-com lane. And so I have 7 and 8 figure e-com business owners that we coach on marketing, we coach on leadership, the scaling CEO roadmap is another process I've created. And then on the other end, I've got my people building expert-based businesses, authors, speakers, coaches, podcasters. And I've created what I call the Aligned and Prosperous Expert Pathway, which is basically 6 steps. You rewrite your money mindset, you find your zone of genius, your natural pathway for wealth, fulfillment, and impact. Third is you find your 4% client that can produce 64% of your revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were Tony Robbins' 4% client, and 7-figure business owners. And then the fourth thing, create an irresistible offer for the 4% client. Fifth, develop expert authority. And then 6, build and scale your 8-player team. So that's a rough breakdown, and I do a little bit of one-on-one with high-level entrepreneurs, and then but a lot of mastermind type stuff too.
Yes, I love the masterminds. They really make a difference, and I can't imagine not investing in good quality masterminds with different people and having coaches and professionals help me in my life and business, even though I help a lot of other people and have my own courses and masterminds as well. We need to refuel. And these investments that we make in ourselves and in our business make all the difference. Sometimes we're just looking so close at our business that we can't see what we're missing. Sometimes it's a small adjustment that can make a huge revenue difference or a lifestyle difference. How are we working so many hours that we're not living life anymore? Or we actually have time to enjoy our family and friends, relationships, all that. So those are really important pieces that I mean, the best investments I've ever made in my life are like the Platinum Partner and working with different coaches and going into different programs to help me with my businesses as well. And so that makes a big difference. Now, so you also have a new book coming out, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, actually, it ended up last year, partly with the help of my wife. She's a brilliant writer, and she helped me write 2 of them, but I essentially wrote 3 books last year. And so this year I've got Twice Born, How a Crisis Can Remake You. And that's coming out. It's published with Morgan James. And then I got the other one, which is Find Your Genius, Your Natural Pathway to Wealth, Fulfillment, and Impact, and basically breaks down my process for finding your purpose and your pathway. And very excited. It's going to be a new season, being a published author. And then you blaze the trail. You've had fun and built up a great brand around your platform, and so I'm excited. Can't wait.
And it's something like we get a PhD in whatever new thing we're learning. And, when you're starting and this is your first book or whatever, there's so many hours that people don't realize go into creating a book, or maybe a book that has a business aligned with it, that people have no clue the hours involved, many, many hours. And so if you are listening in and you have a new project, it doesn't matter if it's a book or a new side business or something that you're doing. Mike, do you have tips for people listening in as far as what they can do to actually get their project from an idea to done, or their new business back on track and to completion during this time?
Yes, I definitely do. And I love love what I'm about to show you. All right, so is screen share on this, by the way? Can I share screen?
Oh, let's see if we can. I can. Do I press screen share on my side?
Let's see. All right. I think I can share. Let's see. Let me see if it's, oops, screen sharing was canceled. Let me try it again. All right, I think I can. I'm going to show you a pretty cool app. Have you ever used, I love to mind map. Anytime I am working on a new project, my first step is to mind map. And the beauty of mind mapping is it allows me to get my ideas out on paper or on a software program, but it allows me to organize them loosely. And that's very, like, it's much better than a Word doc. And like some of history's greatest thinkers, like Leonardo da Vinci, use mind mapping regularly as a core part of their creative process. And so, it's way more fluid and creative than essentially anything else I've ever seen. I'm trying to get it to pull up. Do you mind map, Sheila?
Oh, I do. I do.
I love it.
It helps.
I love it. So it's not letting me mind map.
Maybe on my side. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, it might be something from my side. So then, I'll do that. I'll put it, like, go to creative spot, like in the place I'm living, or creative coffee house, something that inspires me in an environment that I love being in. And I'll just go to town on working on the mind map and get my noise canceling headphones on and just jam it out to some creatively inspiring music and rock and roll. I'll have mapped out like a book concept. I can map it out in 30 minutes. And one of my friends that's written 18 books, that's what he does, is he will mind map his book in the first version. And then you've got some blueprints to follow instead of like just staring at a blank page or the computer screen open, you figure it out.
Yes, the mind mapping is so helpful. And it is one of the things that can be done. And I know for myself, the word that I had to use the most while I was working on building a new business, and I have other businesses that I run also, I had to say no. And it was saying yes to myself and to my projects, and yes to listeners now, and to everybody that got to read the book and that's reading the book now. So it was a bigger yes. And that's a hard thing to do, as it's boundaries. And right now it's easier because we have some lockdowns still going on. We have less that we can go do. We don't get to go to all the fun events. And so now is a great time. I was actually, when I wrote my book, I was living in Beverly Hills, and literally every single day of the week, you can go out. Like, it is like an event. Or it was until lockdowns happened. It was every night, of Sunday night, Monday night, every night. And you go and you network, and I knew everybody in town. And so I had to say no. And then people stopped asking me out. They were like, well, don't have Sheila because she's going to say no. And I was like, don't know. I want to go out and I'd have to go out like once a week or twice a week instead of 7 days a week, which I was literally with my other business going out 7 days a week, networking with clients and different people. And that's just what you do there. And so I missed that, but it was the only way that I was able to get this done. I had to say no.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like I had to, and when I was writing my books and when I work on a lot of deep work, I got to get up early, like 5 a.m., get up hours before my wife is up, get cranking, focus, locked in, put my superfood brain nutrient stuff to make me focus and go to town. So
Yes. And now, if So on your mastermind groups, how does that work? How does your process work? Is it like a monthly mastermind, a 1-year program, or how are you structuring that?
Yeah, mine are usually a 1-year program, except I do have drop-in options where people can come and experience a weekend. So it's a little bit lower risk. Yeah, I mean, we go deep, and right now we meet in person. So that's been a lot of fun. Is we still meet in person, and in spite of COVID, obviously, some safety precautions with that, but. And we do live Zooms and trainings and bring in guys like, next month we have Richard Coe, the best-selling author of 80/20 Principle, and his new book is Unreasonable Success. He's speaking. We bring in guys like that to help drop and share, their wisdom along the way. So it's a ton of fun, and it's all about, my expert one is all about people building a successful 6 or 7 figure expert business. And then the ecom one, we go, my partner on that, he's built a 9-figure valued company in the ecom space. And so that's a ton of fun.
I remember when I actually listened to the book on Audible with the 80/20 ratios, 80/20. And I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, this works. I got doing 80/20 on every single part of my life. I was like, what else? What else can I show? And it was such a year. I mean, I had so much success just applying that principle to life. We waste a lot of time. And even if you have employees that, they could be wasting your money and time if you don't give them the 20% structure and focus that they need to get the job done, the most important one. And that can make all the difference this year. Now, did your company, were you able to take advantage of the PPL and all those different programs that are out there?
I didn't apply for them at that time. I might this round. I know they just open up some more, but yeah, I didn't need to necessarily. I know it's, free money to some extent. So, and I didn't have any salaried employees at the time. I was mostly working with about 9 different freelancers. So yeah, some of it would have been restrictive.
Now, from what I understand, and I just talked to a friend that actually got a PPP, and they did the first one, and they're going to get the second one. They are self-employed. They didn't have an LLC even or S corp, and they were able to qualify showing the income from the self-employment in 2019 tax return. And then they online, I think it's line 32. I mean, we just had this conversation yesterday. On line 32 on their taxes, whatever that income is their income that they divide by 12, and they have to give that percentage back as payroll. Well, the payroll is they pay themselves.
Wow.
You have to pay yourself 60% of that. And then the rest is for any kind of fee you use for your business. And in 2019, if you were able to show even a small loss from 2020, from 2019, if you show a loss, which most of us had a loss when everything got locked down, then you're able to get that second one. And it's all forgivable as long as you apply it to the proper, to the payroll. So you pay yourself if you are self-employed, and then to the business related expenses. So that could be utilities, that could be all kinds of like things that you already spent your money on to keep your business.
Marketing expenses.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And then you could literally sign up, even though you haven't finished like forgiving the first one, however they do that. And I don't know how that works because we didn't get into that. You can already get the second one once you finish your payouts for the first one in a few weeks. And then you can get you can apply for the second one. So it's not a bad thing to do. And a lot of people that are self-employed, if you're listening in and you're self-employed or 1099, now they've opened it up to even people that are just 1099. But, maybe they're Uber drivers or, doing 5 different jobs, so long as they showed something on their taxes and they can prove that, they can apply. So hopefully that helps.
Yes.
I like to share about things that can help people out there that maybe they didn't know. The other thing I always share about in each show is 211. And have you heard of 211?
I mean, the degree thing where water boils at that or whatever, is that it?
No, it's a phone number.
Okay.
You Google 211 and your state. So 211 California, Nevada, 211 New York, wherever you're at, or any province in Canada, you will get a list of resources. So that's mental health resources, that's for senior care, helping with child care expenses, helping with rent or mortgage, helping with maybe somebody's dealing with an addiction during this crazy time, or maybe they're in an abusive situation. So it's all kinds of free resources. And when you think about it, everybody's hit a rock bottom of one kind or another. Life, gone through something, or this has brought them to a depression or whatever, and they need to ask for help when they need it. And once you're willing to ask for help, whether that's you need to go to 211 first and then join a mastermind, get some coaching, get some good books, and get involved that way as well, but it's getting that first step. And each right action, each small step is going to make a huge difference. Like you had made some losses in your business. And I did too over the years. Obviously, I've had ups and downs and interesting tenants that didn't pay, before COVID and things like that. And so it has been a wild ride, and you learn how to make do, roll up your sleeves. Sometimes you got to roll up your sleeves and you got to do work that you don't love. You're not really doing your passion, your passion work, let's say. Yet, whatever you're doing, I believe it's who you're being and how you're showing up in any situation that's going to make a difference. So that's going to bring you to the next thing. And it's what we learned in the Tony group. It's like moving toward. What are you moving toward versus what are you running away from?
Exactly. Yep. And in uncertain times, it's like we gotta hunt for the certainty and hunt for, our certainty could be our direction. Like, I'm going this direction no matter what, and I'll defy the odds. If I get knocked down, I'm going to get back up. But that you might have to search for the certainty within you. I feel like in some of these uncertain markets and times where so much has changed and so much is still changing.
Yes. And do you have any tips for as far as the business and life combination that you help people with when people are getting unstuck? Any pointers on how to, you're in this, okay, you just lost a lot of money, let's say, or something happened and you need to get unstuck. What are the steps that you can take or things that would help you the most to get back on track?
Yeah, I think sometimes we need a change in environment. And that's why when we change locations, we travel a little bit. It could be as simple as go for a walk. You're in a mental fog, go for a walk. It will shift your mental and emotional state. Go get a workout in, get outside, go get a green juice, go to the beach. Let your subconscious mind tackle it and your conscious mind relax. You look at a lot of people, they've solved great business challenges or great life challenges while on vacation. Because you're in a whole different environment. You're not focused on work, and then boom, light bulb. Yeah. That's what I need to connect with, or that's what I need to do, or that's the shift I need to make. Stuff like that happens all the time.
And I think that, I know for me, it's when you're in that, oh my gosh, now the business just closed and all the events and the book tour, all these things got canceled at once.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, wait a minute. Now, then you get into fight or flight. So you hit the wrong part of your brain, and you don't want to stop because it's an emergency. And you think, if I just do one more thing, the more you overwork and over focus on the problem or trying to solve the problem, the less you're able to actually think in that right mindset.
100%.
Yes, it's like, I've got to go meditate. I've got to go take a walk. and it's almost counterintuitive, because we naturally go into that, okay, we're going to just stay up all night. We can't sleep. We've got to figure out, the business just got closed. How are we going to, pay the employees? And what are we going to do now the kids are home? Is this going to work? And so it is a tough situation, but it is that slowing down that is actually going to speed everything up and benefit us the most. I just finished interviewing a personal trainer, and we were talking about the rest days. So I know this is crazy too. You think, okay, quick, I got to get back in shape. I want to go work out, and I got to work out every muscle every day, and 12 hours a day. Let me just work out, and then I'll be done. And you have to have the rest days, and that's when the muscles form.
Yeah.
Is the day when you have leg day, and then you have arm day, and then because you have to have those days off, or even neuroplasticity. That's when our brains are actually, the learning takes place, and our brains form when we are at rest, not when we're studying. It's that rest time is when actually all the magic happens.
That's actually a great illustration, because I read in Powerful Engagement and other accelerated learning books about how the best learning happens at the beginning and the end of a learning session. You want to have your learning session typically in 90-minute chunks, and then have breaks in between, and that anchors in your learning and your thoughts. So really, really good point, Sheila.
I love that. Yes. And set your alarm. Set your phone alarm to take a break for your employees, or if you're doing Zoom meetings, to just get up. I mean, I think we just did you do the online challenge event?
Not Tony's. I did. I had my own that I was running, and but I've experienced plenty of them. They're great.
Yeah. So, but think they have music breaks.
Yeah.
We'll get this message and this really important information, and then there'll be a dance music break, and then we'll get back to, or there'll be a talking break. And so that's how those things work so well, is those break times, even in those events, which are so fun. And I'm so grateful that we have. So now, if somebody wanted to sign up for one of your masterminds, what does that look like right now? So they would go to a mastermind somewhere, or is it online partially?
Yeah, good question. I have several different groups, so it depends. I have a mind shift mastermind. It's all about mindset. It's primarily virtual. Then I have a kind of an entry level coaching mastermind called Best Year Yet mastermind for coaches. And then Symposia is in person, but we have people that join that just start out virtual and that type of deal. So I have an application process for each one has different income requirements and different maturity levels that I look for in themselves as entrepreneurs. Yeah,
that's great. And then your books are coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm curious, how did your book coming out shift you? I'm curious.
Well, I think there was so much involved with it. I actually was at another mastermind. I was at Jay Abraham's mastermind, and I ran into a publisher there. And so then it went from a book to a book and a business. And so it's funny, when you show up and you're looking for answers, the answers show up.
Yeah.
And so that added extra chapters and a lot of extra work.
Yes, I feel that.
I changed my date of when the book was going to come out. And then, as you know, it was supposed to come out in January. And then my youngest son passed away. And he had a heart condition. We almost lost him in 5th grade. He passed away at age 22. He had flown in to see his grandparents, and I was flying in to see him for Christmas, and he didn't wake up. And so I put the book on hold again. And then it actually came out in August and got to the bestseller and did everything. And then we did the radio show. I was invited to do that. And all these things showed up anyway. So what I learned from all that was, okay, maybe COVID hit and you were in the middle of a project, or maybe something surprise life situation happens. That's okay. Even if you miss a deadline, you have to change something, it's still going to show up just on purpose and in the perfect time. My book is so aligned to what's going on with COVID and getting back on track through a tough situation.
Yeah.
And all the steps involved. I had no idea. In 2019, we didn't know about that. That's it. But it just perfect timing. And I really believe when I started this radio show, I went from one day, then they invited me for 7 hours a week. And my thought and belief and meditation that I do each day before the show is that whoever I get to interview on the show needs to hear that exact information and it shows up in perfect time. Yes. And so that's what I believe. And so with the project, I've learned to surrender to that.
Yeah.
If you're guided to do something and you feel that that's what you're supposed to be doing, you may have lots of roadblocks. And the more roadblocks, the more on point you are.
Often the case. Love that. Great share.
Yes. Yes. And the other thing is Audible. Very important.
Oh, yeah.
I think I sell 2 to 1 on the Audible.
Wow.
People like to listen, and a lot of times they'll listen and then they'll actually buy the book because there's also activities at the end of each chapter and things that people like to write.
Yeah.
And so that's how that works. And I had a blast. It was in California. There was a studio. This was before lockdowns. And I went in for a week. They had like an apartment that is special that you get to stay at if you're flying in from somewhere. And do award-winning Audible recordings. And usually you can pay somebody to do your Audible for you. Okay. I wanted to do it in my voice. So everybody else there was not an author. They were a professional voice actor that does Audible books.
Sure, yeah.
So we would go out after recording 8 hours a day, and I got to see this whole different world and life of people that do this voiceover recording stuff for a living, and got to go have fun with them and learn about that lifestyle and stay at a studio. And
yes.
I had so much fun. So I think whatever you're doing in work, in business, or maybe you're a family and you have your kids home, don't make it be so serious. Have fun. Your kids are going to have more fun and have more success if you have homeschool, whatever. If you have fun and don't make it so serious, that's going to make the difference. I mean, we had a blast, and it was like the best memory ever.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did that. I'm actually recording somebody else's book for them now. They liked my voice, whatever. So it's interesting. I didn't expect that. It just shows up. But it's being willing to say yes.
100%. That's beautiful. Yeah, I found like on my own book journey, the ideas don't you never know where they will take you. It's like that whole movie Yes Man. Have you seen that movie? Yes. Yeah, it's so powerful because the guy's whole life shifts because he started saying yes instead of no to things, to life, to opportunities. And you just never know the friendships, the relationships, the opportunities that can open up because you said yes.
And I remember meeting you at the Platt event, and then I met Donnie Epstein at the
Mm-hmm.
event, and I just finished a whole year-long online program with him, and we did a beautiful Zoom program where he did a whole bunch of work on us and did like an intervention on me and a healing blessing for my son who's transitioned and all this, and it was incredible. And I thought, oh my gosh, I would have never met all these incredible people if I didn't say yes to my travels and to all the investments I made. And then I look and I think I literally traveled for about 7 years straight, almost full time.
Wow. That's
And,
crazy.
and I had a blast. And I thought, wow, now it's kind of restrictive. You can't go different places. You have to wear masks everywhere. And obviously I'd wear a mask if I have to wear a mask. I don't like wearing masks. I don't travel mostly because I don't like wearing a mask for long hours.
Yes.
That's terrible, but that's just me. But I get why you should. I just don't like doing it. But I'm so glad that when I had the opportunity, I did say yes to the traveling.
Yeah.
And I brought my youngest two with me, and we did travel together a lot as a family. And those are priceless. Those magic memories are priceless. And now that we can't do it, we didn't know how good we had it.
Yeah, true. I miss my events so much and cannot wait for. I mean, it feels like this COVID cycle probably has another. I mean, the vaccines only make you your antibodies good for like 2 months. So how long is COVID going to actually be around if you can get it over and over and over again in the same year? So I'm thinking it's going to last a lot longer than I would like.
Yes. And so it's focusing on the positive and having new events and new ways. And there's lots of different opportunities that have opened up. I know for my family and I, my daughter, Sheila, I think you met her probably. She said, Mom, if there was ever a time we needed a universal pause for our it was this last year, and we're like type A people. We just go. And so for us, we needed that moment, that time where, now she's a young college student taking psychology, and everything got moved online. So now she's not at the dorm, she's home, and it's all online. And so, she actually took a job just to get out of the house. Like, I can't take it. We're type A, but still we have time to talk and as adults and have these magic moments and have fun and long walks and play and go paddleboarding. And now that I live near a lake, all these fun things. And so it's just taking advantage of what is.
Yeah.
Because, what we have now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been amazing. So many new connections and friendships I have with people that I've still never physically been in person with and never met, but I feel closeness and connection to them, even though they're a continent away.
Exactly.
And this in Clubhouse is a whole new innovation around that's bringing more connection and in a deeper level, I think, than what we're finding in other platforms as well. So it's going to be fun.
Yes. Thank you for the Clubhouse invite. Now I'm on Clubhouse too. So we'll be having some events on there. I think they have like group events, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yes. So that's fun. All right. So I'd love for you to share for our listeners. We're coming to the end of our time pretty much. I'd love for you to share how people can connect with you and either to take the next steps or maybe get it online for your book.
Yeah. So if you guys are intrigued with building your coaching business around the aligned and prosperous expert pathway that I mentioned earlier, the 6-step phase, whether you're at a 6-figure, you're beginning, or scaling to 7 and beyond, I love that. I think I've got a really unique way of helping clarify and give you a roadmap to grow. And then otherwise, Michael R. Zeller on Instagram. I'm on Clubhouse as Michael R. Zeller 2. And then Facebook, Michael Zeller, and my website, MikeZeller.com. And I've got, a couple different things like 22 mindset hacks that I can share with you as well for just as a thoughtful deep dive PDF that might be interesting for some of you guys too. But I'll give that to Sheila for the show notes.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you again, Mike, for being a guest on the show. And for those listening, stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages. If you are just tuning in, this is the Sheila Mack Show, and I am your host, Sheila Mack. Today, I want to shout out special thanks to the sponsor of this show. The We As Start Talking podcast is a place for great conversations, topics, and stories from people just like you and me. Their podcast is focused on changing the world one conversation at a time. Each episode features a new guest, and along with their 3 hosts, they explore raw, honest, vulnerable, and fun subjects, all in an effort to start talking. If you crave truth, compassion, understanding, and real-life stories, and want to be entertained, you've come to the right place. With episodes released on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week, there's always a great conversation waiting for you. The We As Start Talking podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Check them out at We As Start Talking website, which is www.weas.ca. That's WEAS.ca. You can meet the hosts of We As Start Talking, so please feel free to reach out to the team and say hi. The We As Start Talking podcast makes the world a better place, one conversation at a time. And again, thank you for the We As Start Talking podcast for helping the Sheila Mack Show stay on the air and get this message out. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, reboot, and rebuild your business and personal life on your terms. And now I have a special message for you. And now it's time for a Dear Sheila. So if you have a question for me, please send it in to www.dearsheila.com, and your question may be selected to be shared on one of the radio shows. And if your question is shared, it will also be entered in a contest. This is a giveaway question contest. So once your question is shared on the air, you'll be entered to win a prize, and we have some fun prizes from many different vendors. So send your questions in again to dearsheila.com. Now take a listen. Here's a question. Welcome to Dear Sheila, answering real questions with real solutions to help reboot your life. My career got taken out. How do I reinvent my work life? Dear Sheila, after dedicating my time and life to a company this year, after 22 years, my employer went out of business. Now I'm struggling to start over again, reinvent my life, and figure out how to step into a similar career. I'm very qualified to get close to retirement age, and it seems impossible to find any wage that matches my experience. My question is, what can I do at the age of 53 to restart in the work world while not burning out? Signed, Jobless at 50-something. Dear Jobless at 50-something, this is definitely the time for rebooting and reinventing your career and life on your terms. Often in the case of having to start over in a career, some reinvention is necessary. With your experience and connections in the field, you can use this time as an opportunity to design your work and life. Let's run this situation through the BOOTS formula. Throughout life, one can find themselves facing a difficult situation that often catches them by surprise. Over the years, I saw the patterns in all the times I've had to reboot, and in how I've helped my friends and clients get through a hard time and quickly back into action. Ultimately, I came up with the BOOTS formula. The B in the BOOTS formula is for being. It is about who you are being and all you are doing and who you need to be in this situation. You are going to have to be authentic and creative with how you design your new work life. At this point in your career, you may be the exact person to advise and help a new business get started. Write out a perfect day at your new dream job. What would that day look like? Would you be an advisor in a similar position or an entrepreneur? Who are you being in this vision? Being honest about who you must be in your search is key. The O in the BOOTS formula is for orientation. To get the outcomes you desire, you must be honest here. It is not better than it is, nor is it worse than it is. It simply is what it is. Make a list of your resources. Who do you know in the industry, similar industries, and what are your former coworkers doing? Again, be really honest about your outcomes, the outcomes you want. The next O in the BOOTS formula is for order of operations. Now that you know who you need to be and your orientation, you can decide in which order you must do things. You may need to take on part-time work. Be okay with that and proud of yourself for moving forward. If you do take an in-between position, do not stop applying to the dream job. In the long run, the order in which you do things is going to really drive your results. The T in the BOOTS formula is for thinking. This is where your mindset comes in. Stop waiting for the perfect new position to show up before you're happier. Choose to live in a grateful and happy state now and in each step in this process. When you go in for interviews or build your own company, your new employer or client will feel your energy. Be so proud of yourself for stepping up and designing your new work life. You will find as you choose your happiness now and express your truth and essence, the position that you are seeking will find you. The S in the BOOTS formula is for stepping up. This is the part that puts all the other pieces you have planned into place and gets you and your work life back into action. The time is now for us to collectively work together to rebuild this year. My hope is that this video series and my new book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, helps. In my book and on my website, I provide plenty of free resources for anyone dealing with a rock-bottom situation to reinvent and reboot their business and personal life. If you have a question for Dear Sheila, message me at www.sheilamac.com. As always, I wish you life, love, laughter, and light. So I have a special gift today for you. If you are looking to reboot your career, or a young adult or an adult that is looking to go back to college or just start out in college, I have some chapters devoted just to these topics on the Bootstraps and Bra Straps book. It's also available on Audible. And in the book, you will learn more. And in the book, there are some free gifts, activities, and workshops and tips to help you. There's also a chapter on financial freedom and how to get out of debt. So if you do have college debt from going to school years ago, I have some tips on how to get out of debt quickly. So with that, I do have some homework for you. Go ahead and grab a copy of my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. It is now available on Audible, Amazon, and Kindle, as well as at www.sheilamac.com, and get your free Boots meditation gift for the holiday season at sheilamac.com/bootsmeditation. Thanks for listening. If you are just tuning in, this is the Sheila Mac Show, and I am your host, Sheila Mac. Today, I want to shout out special thanks to the sponsor of this show. The We As Start Talking podcast is a place for great conversations, topics, and stories from people just like you and me. Their podcast is focused on changing the world one conversation at a time. Each episode features a new guest, and along with their 3 hosts, they explore raw, honest, vulnerable, and fun subjects, all in an effort to start talking. If you crave truth, compassion, understanding, and real-life stories, and want to be entertained, you've come to the right place. With episodes released on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week, there's always a great conversation waiting for you. The We As Start Talking podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Check them out at We As Start Talking website, which is www.weas.ca. That's WEAS.ca. You can meet the hosts of We As Start Talking, so please feel free to reach out to the team and say hi. The We As Start Talking podcast makes the world a better place, one conversation at a time. And again, thank you for the We As Start Talking podcast for helping the Sheila Mack Show stay on the air and get this message out. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, reboot, and rebuild your business and personal life on your terms. And now I have a special message for you. All right, so that was an excerpt from my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, and that was the chapter on breaking free from addiction using the Boots formula. I do have a weekly support group that meets. It's a short course that you can take monthly or continue on for a 1-year program, and it is a weekly commitment where we go together in a small group format and work on breaking free from addictions. So if you are struggling with an addiction, I'd love for you to grab the book, which can help you apply the Boots formula, and you are welcome to join one of the courses. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you again for tuning in to NBC's Sheila Mack Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. That was an excerpt from my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. I have an entire chapter devoted to becoming addiction-free, as well as additional free gifts and resources to help those who are looking to either break free from an addiction themselves or help a loved one who is working hard to break free from an addiction. And if you look online at SheilaMack.com, you can see all my courses, including a weekly support group mastermind course that helps people that are actually working using the Boots formula to break free from addiction. So here it is, my latest book. I have to let you know something, just between you and me. This book is not one size fits all, just like a pair of boots or a bra. So the formula is designed to help you through any situation. For you to grab a copy of my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. It is now available on Audible as well as on Amazon and Kindle and at www.sheilamack.com.
Have you lost your job? Have you lost a loved one? Are you exhausted caring for your parents, for your kids? Well, you can find immediate relief when you read Sheila Mack's new #1 bestseller, Bootstraps and Bra Straps. It contains the Boots formula to move from rock bottom back into action in any situation, especially right now. If life has knocked you down, pick yourself up with Bootstraps and Bra Straps. Get your copy at www.SheilaMack.com today.